we'll do the public hearing and then go right into the council meeting because it doesn't look like there's a lot going on as far as the public hearing piece goes. So, all right, we'll do the public hearing first. All persons are reminded that this session is being recorded on tape for the preservation of records, and you're asked when called upon to give your name, address, and interest in the matter before the council. There's no time limit on you if you'd like to speak. A discussion of Ordinance 514, which is an ordinance to amend Chapter 119 of the Hampstead Code regarding development rights and responsibility agreements. We've had a couple of developers approach us related to wanting to have an idea of the public improvements they must provide before they go through the process so they know what they're looking at economically up front before they invest a lot of money to come to us with these approvals. And I guess if there's anything we've learned, we've gone from a town that had too much development to a town that doesn't have enough, and there's consequences to both. So, any comment on Ordinance 514? Which is only the enabling legislation to allow the negotiation of a development rights agreement or one to be presented. Going once, twice, you don't have to talk 3 times. Anybody up here anymore? We're all good? All right, we'll close the public hearing and go right into the council meeting of the mayor and town of Hampstead Town Council. Please rise for prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Lord, we submit ourselves to you as your servants and the servants of the people of Hampstead and who've placed their trust in us. Please allow every word that is spoken and every action taken to be in the best interest of Hampstead. O Lord, bless this town and our meeting. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Tammy.
All right. Mayor Nevin,
Here.
Councilman Rourke,
Here.
Councilwoman Duff,
Here.
Councilman Thomas,
Here.
Councilman Renahan,
Here.
and Councilman Unglesby.
Here.
Minute approvals. We had a public hearing in November and we had council minutes in November.
Move to approve both the public hearing and the council minutes. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Back to you, Tammy. Staff report.
Staff report, Main Street Revitalization Project, or the water main project first. They are still working on the permanent trench paving. It'll continue on phases 1 and 2 this week. The work will take place between Maryland 482 and Gill Avenue. They're going to start saw cutting and utility test pits for the sewer work. I thought the sewer work had begun already, but it is not. They're getting ready to do the test pits for the sewer work. All this work will continue through the end of the week and wrap up early the following week. We will move on. The Mid-Atlantic will move on to the sewer replacement work, which is phase 3. It's Gill Avenue to Hauksville Road. They're doing a test pitting first, and then they'll do saw cutting, and then they'll continue into phase 5, which is Millinger's Garage to Northwoods Trail. That's the water work. They're going to finish up the water work. That's phase 1 and phase 2. Now for the contracts at its 50% point, and at this point in time, based on quantities, 58% of the water main is complete, 46% of the water service connections are complete, 64% of the water main valves are complete, and 61% of the fire hydrants are complete. They haven't begun the sewer work. The next monthly progress meeting is December 16th, and the bond for Main Street Revitalization Project will close on December 10th, on the Main Street Water Project replacement. For the streetscape, State Highway was working on the letter of agreement for the additional work outside of the project. That was supposed to be separate than the road transfer agreement. They have decided to put that together in one document. I have not received a draft. We've been discussing the lamppost and the lighting. When this first was chosen, I guess maybe 2 years ago, the original estimate for the lamppost along the core of Main Street was $236,000. A couple factors have changed since then. Originally, LED lighting was not chosen, but now the state's requiring that the lamppost have LED lighting. The first section of lamppost produced too much glare on the motorist, so they had to adjust the glare because of 2 areas. There's 2 areas where the lampposts have to be shorter, right on Hauksville and Route 30, and another place because of the overhanging wires from Verizon, they have to make the lamp posts shorter. And because they're shorter, the glare goes right in the motor's eye. So when they adjusted that, they then had to make the lamp posts closer. So instead of 100 feet apart, they're 55 feet apart, which doubled the amount of lamp posts that we need. So our share of the cost from last estimates, $446,490. We're going to discuss this in more detail at our meeting on December 16th. The proposed closing of North Carroll High School, Superintendent Guthrie recommended an option 5 to the Board of Education, which closes North Carroll High School, New Windsor Middle, and Charles Carroll, thank you, Charles Carroll Elementary. They will vote on his recommendation tomorrow at 6 p.m. There was a meeting today with the state delegation, the county commissioners, and the Board of Education, where they discussed the $4 million that the governor gave to, or offered to the Board of Education to help them defer this decision. However, they don't have to defer the decision. They are allowed, if it's approved in the budget process, they are allowed to take the $4 million and they can still continue with option 5 if they choose. As you know, we submitted our Sustainable Communities application. So now the next application that we'll be working on is Sustainable Maryland. It's a resolution being presented. Okay, it's on the agenda. The town has, for rental licenses, the town has issued 295 housing license and collected license fees at a total of $8,275. We collected all of them. The next renewal cycle will be in 2017. The paving has been completed, include patching on Woodsman Circle, Spotters Court, and Christopher Way, paving on Christopher Way, Dogwood Drive, Old Field Lane, Upper Ford Lane, and Dakota Road. Oakmont Overlook, the model home interior is being decorated. They've received their use and occupancy permit this week, and a grand opening should be scheduled sometime by the end of this month, maybe even by next week. The county has agreed to the town's changes for the MOU for the Greenmount Church Road transfer near that development, but we still haven't received an updated agreement. For the pump house for this development, the driveway's been constructed except for the curb. That needs to be adjusted. And the developer secured a utility easement and submitted a request to BG&E to bring the line for the transformer through the Richards property. But when they received the design back from BG&E, it runs the electric from a phase 1 transformer at the intersection of Farmwoods Lane and Upper Ford. So they've been trying to contact BG&E to understand why the plans are different than they requested and to see if it will cost more money because it's running a longer distance. Contact our Solar City to let them know that the road has been constructed for the parcel where they'll be putting the solar panels. Explain to him that we don't know exactly when the transformer will be coming in, but they've decided to go ahead and get their permits. We just signed the building permits this week, and they're working on the racking now, and they plan to start a full install on January 4th. Fuchs, I actually stopped by the construction trailer last week. The infrastructure for sewer and stormwater management is fully installed. The water main is installed but not connected. The contractor should be pouring the footers this week and still should be delivered soon. So we should be seeing something going up.
Wonderful. Very good. That's a good idea to stop by there. I will tell you, it's interesting to note with the number of connections that have been done on the water main. Kevin brought to my attention that the amount of usage of water is way down.
Right.
It just goes to show you as different sections of the Main Street water main are replaced, how much that thing was leaking.
Exactly.
We're seeing numbers in the daily usage, 338,000, 350,000, 339,000 to 344,000. That's like 50,000 less than what we're typically used to seeing. So it's a good thing. All right. Any questions for Tammy? Oversights. Marlene, well done.
Thank you.
On Friday.
Thank you, sir. This year's Christmas market was held this past Friday and Saturday, and it was very successful. We had over 1,200 customers shopping the two-date event. 11 vendors participated, along with the police department's silent auction, and I hope Christina did well on that.
Yes, we did.
We got, and it benefited Shop with a Cop, so we were happy with that. We came away with several really good suggestions for next year's market also. One of our vendors is going to be Santa on Saturday. So he will be there all day Saturday for children, and we'll have him set up in one area. The chef had several requests to provide carryout containers for his food, so we're going to do that. And the big one is Saturday's hours are going to change. We have been going the last 2 years 10 to 5. Next year 10 to 3, because the crowd just like totally dies after 3 o'clock. So I think that will be a benefit, and we're going to publicize it ahead of time. Thank you again to Councilman Thomas and the Hampstead Train Station Committee for sponsoring the Christmas market this year, to Corporal Holland for holding the silent auction to benefit the Shop with a Cop, and to Kevin Hand for setting up one of his prized train displays in the front window. And that was truly a big hit. We got some really precious pictures of children with their noses pressed against the window, which were really cute. Sharon and I visited the Baltimore market under the JFX last month. We came out to live to tell about it. And we made contact with several vendors who are extremely interested in joining the Hampstead market for next summer. I attended the November 17th meeting of the Hampstead Merchants Association. The merchants were able to ask questions of Sean Johnson of State Highway and Justin of Mid-Atlantic regarding the construction progress, and I think they had a lot of their fears allayed for the time being. Lynn Sheevely of NESAP has also arranged Christmas activities for the weekends of December the 11th and December the 18th on Main Street. So that should help bring some activity and some folks on Main Street for those 2 weekends. November the 19th, I went to the Board of Elections to see a demonstration of the new voting machines, which will be used in next year's election. On December 3rd, Sharon and I were guests of the Hampstead Train Station Committee at their annual board meeting. Thank you for that. And the memorandum of understanding has been executed with the fire department. Thank you, Nick, and everybody involved with that, so that the market may return again to the fire department carnival grounds for next summer. So Lorena's really on top of that. It was gone. I just didn't even think about that. Lorena pulled it up. She made all the revisions, and she made the arrangements. She and Kevin helped us with that. So I appreciate that and your support and cooperation. And that's it.
Good. Wayne?
The Hampstead Train Station Committee held its annual meeting on December 4th at Eliano's restaurant. We had probably about 22 people there. As Marlene mentioned, Sharon and Marlene were our guests. At that meeting, we elected our board for the coming year. Wayne Thomas is still president, Danny Lee still vice president, Charles Simpson, Diane Kelball, Matthew Sitchell, and Bill Paul are on the board. It was very well attended, and at that meeting we were honoring the Rizzos. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it to the meeting, but we honored them with this award. It's the Golden Spike Award. It says presented to Arthur Rizzo and Judy Rizzo in recognition of their dedication to the Hampstead train station from 2008 to 2015. This award is reserved for those who demonstrate exceptional levels of support and generosity. And the Rizzos have been very good to the train station. They provided us with a caboose and renovated it, added electricity to the caboose, supported us in all our events. They're the ones that started the flea market that's been fairly profitable for us. So we really appreciate everything the Rizzos have done for us. Moving on, the Tree Commission has a meeting coming up on the 15th of this month. We'll be getting organized and talking about the tree banking project that we have coming up next year.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Jim?
Planning and Zoning Commission of Hampstead met on Wednesday, November the 18th. Kevin Hand gave the Main Street Revitalization Report, which Tammy has already updated this evening. We then discussed Ordinance 514, which is an ordinance to amend Chapter 119 of the Hampstead Town Code regarding the development rights and responsibilities agreements. That's what the mayor talked about this earlier during the public hearing. The commission approved and recommended the ordinance back to council. The only other thing, Bobby Moser, Wither County update, was the ongoing MDE approval of the Woodard designation on the rear portion of the Harrell property. They still have not approved it. They have to change it from future to priority. They've extended it as far as they can. They now have to make a ruling by December the 28th Don't know what really the holdup is. Bobby does not anticipate any problems. Still says it should be a positive outcome. We're just waiting. And that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
One short item for parks. After the holidays, we'd like to refer to 3 large trees at War Memorial Park to the Tree Commission. One tree has gotten so large and close to the BGE power line that we can't put lights on it. The center tree behind the memorial has gotten too large to reach around the tree with a lift. We need to come up with a plan to address these concerns. That's all I got.
Sounds like you got something to do.
Yes, sir.
Dave?
Okay, November 2015, the average water usage was 345,000 gallons per day. December 2015, it is the same so far at 354,000 gallons per day. The rainfall total for November was 1.71, and the rainfall total so far of December is 0.92. That's it.
Dry as it is. Stacy, sitting in for the chief. Good to see you.
Sitting in for the chief. Traffic safety this month, for the month of November, our officers issued 171 citations and warnings. There were 8 traffic crashes reported, 3 of which were at the bypass at 482, and 2 of them were on Main Street. No other street in town had more than 1 crash after that. We had a very busy month. Serious crime. We had 1 arson, 2 assaults, 1 of which was on a police officer. 1 burglary. All items were recovered, including a firearm, handgun, and the suspect was charged in that. 1 recovered stolen auto, where the suspect was charged in that. 10 thefts, 4 of which are from unlocked automobiles. Please lock your cars. 1 case of those 4 has been charged. And then we had a wallet stolen from a workplace. We've charged a suspect in that. Packages this time of year, it's Christmas time, being delivered. Wembley Court lost 2 packages on their porches. And then 3 other various thefts. So with all that said, our officers made 16 arrests in November. 8 were juveniles, 8 were adults, and of course, as I said before, the charges include arson, auto theft, assault, burglary, theft, CDS possession, driving while suspended, and felony armed robbery from a warrant out of Texas. Our K-9 officer, he did 2 scans for Hampstead, which resulted in 3 juvenile arrests. He also assisted with a search and seizure warrant for CDS. He did a traffic scan for Westminster City, which resulted in trace amounts of CDS, and he did a scan for the sheriff's office, which the dog did not alert on. Staffing. Finally, Officer Matt Vogel and Jonathan Cranshaw are, as of hopefully tomorrow, will be completely off-field training. So they are going to be out. You should have already seen them out on their own patrolling. There's usually another officer working shift with them. But as of tomorrow, if all goes well and the chief signs off on it, they will be complete. We did some training in November. On November 6th, Corporal Holland completed her annual firearms. November 18th, Officer Cranshaw and Fogel completed the radar certification. And on November 20th, Sergeant Swartz completed a training in mental health first aid. Community involvement. As Marlene knows, on November 13th, we hosted Hampstead Elementary for a visit at Town Hall. And Sergeant Swartz, PFC Winecoop, and Officer Cranshaw handled the police side of that on the old side of the building, showed the kids the police car. They seemed to really enjoy it. Corporal Holland and PFC Orem also hosted a Girl Scout troop for a station tour on November 23rd. Upcoming events. We have Shop with a Cop this Saturday. We are starting, I did talk to Corporal Holland, we are starting Saturday at 8 o'clock for breakfast. The shopping usually starts about 8:30. Of course, the whole council is invited and asked to attend if possible. She has 4 families this year, and we have 10 children that will be shopping. Anyone interested in helping wrapping presents from now through Friday, please feel free to contact myself or Corporal Holland. And I want to thank Marlene and obviously Wayne for allowing us the space in the room to do the Shop with a Cop silent auction, which was very successful for us. Not only did we sell a good portion of the items, but we also collected some nice donations from people that didn't even get the auction.
Okay.
So it was very good, so thank you again.
Very good. Now, The people you arrested, all local or percentage local versus not?
80% local. Got 80% local.
All right, hopefully we just had a abnormal month.
Well, one of them was a warrant out of another state that just moved to this state.
Oh,
And,
gosh.
one of them was, at least mine was from Baltimore City, so,
Okay, well,
but I was, the juveniles are all from this area.
okay. Hopefully they settle back down, and we're talking to the cable channel, but, so they're not far, they're not folks from other jurisdictions listening, but you typically commit a crime in Hampstead, you're caught.
We like to.
Yep. So, all right, my report. Few things going on. North Carroll High School boys soccer team, I was able to go down and watch them win their second state championship in 3 years. They played it at Loyola against a team from Chrisfield. It was a very spirited game, and North Carroll boys came out on top. So we issued a proclamation, as has become our custom for any team or athlete that wins a state championship, and I was able to read that over the loudspeaker at North Carroll High School on Monday. Not too much has been said. You had your Christmas village with the farmers market, but then as part of that, we do the Christmas tree lighting and the park lighting. That was Friday night. That was a real team effort from everybody, thanks to Chief and the involvement of the fire department, the police department, the public works department, just everybody and all the volunteers that go along to make that the event that it is every year. Everybody just remarks that that's one of the charms of small town America and living in a town like Hampstead. So it was another well done event. We're gonna we have a government meeting on Thursday. Just to let you know, I'll be late because I've got a holiday party at work. So as soon as I can get out of there, I'll get over to Westminster. But Wayne, you carry on. Last thing that's covered most of the month and most of the last 2 months is the North Carroll High School closing. Doesn't, as of today, with tomorrow being the final vote, I don't know if it's going to swing our way or not. It's not necessarily looking like it. A lot of people here have been very, very involved. I must say that the public hearing, if that's what you want to call it, when you're just talking to a curtain, last Tuesday at North Carroll High School, I've never seen such a well-attended event. It was pretty much, every seat was filled. I would commend every speaker who got the chance to speak on how passionately and how knowledgeably they spoke on the subject, from just regular residents to staff at the school, to teachers at the school, and especially the students. I attended all 3 nights of meetings, and I will say that our, I guess with a high school, maybe we have more to lose. Everybody has something to lose, and that was coming out on this, but the way the folks spoke and how passionate they were really showed well on the school and showed well on the community. And our students, I thought, were head and shoulders above some of the other students that spoke. So a well done on that front. As part of government, you don't always get what you want, but we were certainly part of a process there. And the other thing that's been mentioned a lot to me is like, okay, so what are they going to do with the school after it closes? The county has no idea. The school board's going to make a decision, and it comes the school building gets put back on the county, and they don't have any plans. I can tell you that it's in the town of Hampstead. It's zone conservation. Were the county to come up with a plan, they'd have to run it by us and get our approval. There's been rumors about Fuchs wanting it. That's not the case. Fuchs has their hands full with the property that they're doing, plus the property that they're on allows for expansion, which they think would take place 8 to 10 years down the road. So we're not aware of anything that's planned for that school site. Hopefully we've seen abandoned school buildings before, and we actually several years ago, I guess 10 now, had to sue the county and the then commissioners to get control of that school, which we won, and it's been turned into a senior housing project that has been very well received and been very well used by a aging population who wants to be closer to the family that's growing up around this area. Hopefully that is not what happens to North Carroll High School. Between finding a use for the community and or a reuse or a reopening as a school, that the building can be put back into service. It's 40 years old, but that building was built right. It doesn't have near the deferred maintenance or any kind of maintenance that a lot of the other schools that they're talking about keeping open have. And the long-term planning of what I can see is, both from a fiscal level, a capital level, and an operating level is totally lacking. And there's been a lot of people in our community that have put forth alternative plans that make a lot better sense that are truly being ignored. So it'll be an interesting election season next year, and we'll see how the face of school board and county commissioners change over the next few years, because this has been a lightning rod topic, and I don't think it's been handled well. So that's it for my comments. I don't think there's other unfinished business. We have a request for a one-year extension on water connection at 4144 Upper Beckleysville Road. I think this has been an ongoing request, but now there at least was a letter from one of the two folks about what their plans are, and so we thought a one-year extension was advisable.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Other new business? We'll move on to the limited agenda, ordinances and resolutions. Adoption of ordinance 514, which is the ordinance to amend Chapter 119 of the Town Code regarding development rights and responsibilities agreements, which was the subject of our public hearing and I gave a brief description of earlier. A motion?
Move to adopt ordinance 514.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Then we have introduction and adoption of Resolution 2015-06, a resolution to support Hampstead's participation in the Sustainable Maryland Municipal Certification Program. That is a mouthful.
Move to introduce and adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. And then, last but not least, as a result of some changes that were to the bond, Lindsay Rader, our attorney, thought it was appropriate for us to tweak some of the language related to the bond as set forth in Resolution 2015-06. Or 07, my bad. Got to turn the page. 07. So we need a resolution to amend Resolution 1505 concerning general obligation bonds for the Main Street water infrastructure.
Move to introduce the adoption of Resolution 2015-07, a resolution to amend Resolution 2015-05 concerning the general obligation bonds for the Main Street water infrastructure.
Second.
Any discussion of that?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? You'll note the lower interest rate.
Yes.
Public comments. Michael, I heard you had something?
Pass it on.
Thank you, sir.
I don't need one. You don't need a copy? No. Read it 12 times.
Thank you.
Now, this is a thing I'm trying to bring to Hampstead. It's Be Safe the movie, and the lady that did the movie is Emily Elan. Which you guys can, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring a certification course to certify more people in doing the screenings for the movie. And what the movie does is it shows the kids with disabilities and the adults with disabilities how to interact with the local police departments, and the police officers and law enforcement. And then I was gonna do a screening also. And I think the costs are, I think the costs are on the back page.
Yeah, I provided I contacted Emily and asked her for some clarification on the cost. They have a certification course. You get a certificate. The cost is $3,500, and that's for up to 50 people. So you can have this either in the town or the county. They'll come out, they'll do the certification. I believe that course lasts about 5 hours. The cost is $3,500 plus the travel expenses for the people that come out to do the program. And then they also have an interactive screening that's usually with self-advocates, so that people that have to interface with people with disabilities will know properly how to handle different situations. Looks like an interesting program. There's a cost associated with it. If you get 50 people come out, $75 a person, which isn't bad for certification for a 5-6 hour course. I know Michael approached me about bringing this to the council. I told him come on out and talk to the council. This might be something, I don't know if the police department's interested in the training program or not, but it might be something that we might want to enter into with some other towns, or maybe as the county.
Why don't you, we got it Thursday MML meeting. I'll reach out to Perry
Okay,
to let him know that you would like to present this.
excellent.
And then Stace, if you could talk to Chief about this and see what he thinks with the other chiefs and the sheriff.
The chief and I have spoken about it. We cannot do any funding for this. Our officers last year received mandated training in autism awareness and interaction. The chief feels that this is not conducive for our agency. He had suggested that he looks at maybe the community colleges or something larger than just for our town. And I also put him in contact with Maggie Browser at the health department to see if maybe they could offer a venue better than just our local department. So that's where we are with it.
Yeah, I think it'd work good for a larger venue.
Okay, but if I'll talk to Perry about putting it on the agenda for Thursday.
Okay, I'll bring
And
some,
I'll ask him to speak to the sheriff about it as well.
thank you.
For you, Michael? All right, thanks.
Thank you, Michael.
Anybody else? Nick, Doug, Sharon, Ann?
I've been a fighter all my life, but this battle with the school board is the biggest fight I've ever had. They've listened to nothing. We've had no input from the community standpoint, and I watched them today insult and put down our delegates. I've attended or tried to attend all 7 meetings that's taken place. I couldn't be more proud. In a sense, it's good that some of this came out, because I found out what fighters North Carroll area are. I'm proud to be a part of that. This has been a done deal all along. I don't care if it's on cable or not. I tell it like it is. I had a few unkind remarks with Commissioner Frazier today. He was the first one that spoke up and said, I'm in favor of closing. And the others followed suit. $4 million is nothing to scoff at. And from what I can understand from somebody, if they vote to close North Carroll School, they could very easily lose that $4 million. It may be a penny wise and dollar foolish. I could have choked people today. I couldn't say a word as usual. You can't get any comments back. And every comment that comes out of their mouth is all negative against everything that they want to be negative. We've heard nothing concerning the teachers' salaries, how many teachers have left because of going out of town to another jurisdiction because of family obligations. We've heard nothing about attrition, how many left the job because of whatever. And this has been a done deal all along. As the mayor stated, elections will be coming up. I've been in touch with another mayor and another councilman from another area, and we're going to be very eager very active in any elections that come up. I sat there today with Mrs. Duff and Ms. Callahan and Ms. Ledley and some others from North Carroll. And it was difficult not to just go crazy and just attack everybody like maybe they deserve. I don't believe we have a chance now from what I heard today. When you ridicule your senator and your delegates, that's getting pretty low. The only one that spoke up in favor of keeping North Carroll open was our Commissioner Weaver. The others, from Howard to Rothschild to Fraser, it was all negative, and Mr. Wentz, he went neutral on most of the stuff. When they asked Guthrie a question, guess what? He ridiculed, what was the lady's name, our delegate?
Krebs, Susan Krebs.
Susan Krebs. He ridiculed her because she had not listened or seen their work session on the channel. And finally, Doolin made a statement that we're not here for this discussion. We're here for clarification of what this $4 million means. So basically, he put them down like he put all the rest of us down. So I want to tell you, I don't think, regardless of the outcome tomorrow, we should give up. There are certain processes that we can follow, and we need to do that. It's like really losing a family member. So I hate to see North Carroll go by the wayside when you have a $47 million capital improvement at East Middle, and you have no capital improvements, virtually none at North Carroll. It's rotten apples. And somebody even suggested a state prison there. And Mr. Fraser come to our meeting over here and suggested some sort of center. He should stay in his part of the county, not come over here. And I told him today, he's got a conflict of interest. The guy can teach wrestling in the south end of the county when his job is safe, no movement around, no redistricting. He can talk a big game because we can't have a chance to vote against that guy. So my words were not too kind with Mr. Fraser today, and I didn't have a chance with the others, but I just want to tell you, I fought hard. Many of you people fought hard, all of you. I'm proud of the North Carroll District, and I'm hoping that we'll get unexpected news tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, you gave a very good 2-minute talk at the North Carroll meeting, and you've been front and center on the whole thing, so thank you for that. Anybody else? Sharon?
It's very difficult not to say something. I think, and Doug, thank you. This has been a long, hard-fought battle. I hate to say battle because this is our community. I've lived in this community for longer than I care to put on record, 40 years perhaps. I've been involved actively with the community. Years ago when I was asked to help bring business to Main Street, I spent 10 years of my life doing that. And along with Marlene Duff and myself, the Hampstead Farmers Market, many events at North Carroll High School with Dick Weaver when he was a teacher there, working with the students, with the high school and with business when we were a Connor Piper and Flynn and Caldwell banker, to help the children get to learn how to work with businesses in the community. And we all benefited from that then and now. Some of the students I worked with in those days stop me on the street today in a community events and thank me for what we did together as a team, the high school and business in this community. Losing North Carroll High School is more than just losing a building. That is the lifeblood of this community. I have been astounded to watch this process. Proud of our country that we are free to have a process like this. but not the way this process was handled. It has been very unprofessional, very unfair, the way our community members were treated at those meetings with the 2 minutes when the gentleman sat on the stage and turned off the microphone when the 2 minutes were up, when the Board of Education sat in the audience where they couldn't be seen, where the people that spoke had to look at a blank curtain or a video screen instead of the Board of Education looking at them. Well, we're looking at them now, and I know this is being videoed, and that's fine. What was their fear of facing our community? It was so disrespectful. I've managed businesses and handled budgets for over 40 years and ran my own business for 14 years in the 70s to 1984. I have never run a business like this. That is a business. This is a business. Carroll County is a business. I think it is time for us to have a government where we have a county executive. Marlene, what is that called again?
Charter.
Charter. It's time for that. We need to bring that back again. I think this county is not being run the way it should be in the year 2015, now 2016. I think it's time for some big changes. And I agree with you. I'm proud of Hampstead and our community. We have met more extraordinary human beings that have come forward to fight for North Carroll High School, to fight for Hampstead. We even sat and heard them ridicule the signs that said, "Save North Carroll High School, save Hampstead." I even heard ridicule of that today. So I think it's time. I think it's time for change. I'm in it to win it. I've never given anything up in my entire life or my career, and I'll do whatever it takes in an appropriate, professional, and honest way to help the community. Thank you, Mayor Nevin, for everything you've done. You've done an outstanding job. Thank you to the council. Thank you for the community's people in the community who have the courage to stand up and speak. And we have some new stars that have come out of this now. New young people who, no offense anybody by the way when I said that, but new young folks in our community that have now been identified as our future leaders. And I think that's a good thing. So thanks for letting me speak.
Our pleasure, and well stated. Anyone else? All right, to those on cable, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you watching us on TV. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, and Merry Christmas to all.